Hey, I'm Greg, and today I'm interested in Stranger Things. So I just finished up season 3 of Stranger Things, and boy, there was a lot going on in that last episode. So I want to get the negative out of the way first. So if you haven't seen it, here is your spoiler warning. I want you to go watch the episode and then come back to this video because I do not want to spoil anything for you, and we are going to be talking about things that happened in the episode. Right out the gate, let me tell you, I was underwhelmed. It wasn't that there was anything overtly bad. It wasn't that there was anything I didn't like. I had just heard from people giving me their reactions before I had a chance to watch. And thankfully, that's all I got, just reactions. They didn't spoil any of the plot points. I was actually really lucky that I didn't have any of the plot spoiled for me because it seemed like everywhere I turned and everyone I knew, they were talking about Stranger Things Season 3. How much they were loving it, how much they did love it, how much they cried at the end. So, thank goodness I didn't have anything spoiled in the form of, oh boy, just wait till this happened. And really the kicker of it all is that because I was hearing such effluent praise about it, it really raised my expectations. So, when the end comes around, it just kind of felt like, is that it? Don't get me wrong, I got teared up. I just wasn't bowled over and wailing, like to the point where I was watching it and I was getting distracted, noticing things like, well, no one is wailing. No one's doing an over-the-top ugly cry. What the actors did was fine. It's what I would call the Hollywood cry. It's enough to tug at your heartstrings, and if you're not distracted like I was, you'll probably cry along with them. But check this out. If any of the actors had done this, I would have been wrecked.
This is my boy! My boy!
You see? That is going to tug at you. And nothing that the actors did was wrong. In fact, if I stop and think about it, what they did was probably more appropriate for their characters' relationships with each other. But when I went in and I had heard how affected other people were, my bar was just set so high. And I think that that's really why, for me, it was a little bit underwhelming. Moving on to the things that I did like, I find the structure of this episode fascinating. Now, I need to segment things a little bit first. Let's just go ahead and take everything up to that 3-month jump toward the end. Let's just take that. And we're going to focus on that. And I can't believe I'm going to do this, and you won't either, but I'm going to compare Game of Thrones Season 8 to the first part of this episode. And it's really quite fascinating that for a season that was lambasted pretty much universally for being so quick and rushing everything, it still took Game of Thrones almost 3 episodes, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, The Long Night, and the start of Last of the Starks to do what Stranger Things did in roughly 40 minutes. Now, isn't that a fine how do you do? First, we prepare our heroes. They come together, they spend the appropriate time reconciling, discussing the plans, moving into position, saying their necessary goodbyes. The heroes are set up for a win, only to find out that the enemy is too strong. First, Billy takes the ignition cable, and the Night King takes the Dothraki with their flaming swords. Then we have a big battle on multiple fronts. We have meaningful sacrifices and tearful goodbyes. Now, I don't know what's more remarkable, the fact that Stranger Things was able to do this all in such a short period of time, or the fact that we need to take a step back and say, if Stranger Things did it this way, and we're lauding them for it, maybe we need to take a step back and give Game of Thrones more credit. Now, I said in my Game of Thrones video, I loved it in spite of all of its shortcomings, but yeah, maybe I'm not giving them enough credit. Did anyone else get major Raptor in the Kitchen vibes when the Mind Flayer was searching for the kids in the Gap? And then again, when the Mind Flayer was searching for the other group by the car, I was getting this mix of the Nazgul looking for the hobbits by the side of the road, and the T-Rex looking for Tim and Lex in the car. And it's really kind of remarkable, the simple fact that I am talking about Stranger Things in the same sentence as Jurassic Park and The Lord of the Rings is really just a testament to how I feel about Stranger Things. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Stranger Things superfan by any stretch. In fact, there were several times throughout the season where I was just sitting back and I was saying, you know, I could be done. But I just think that it's really well done. It's got a beautifully controlled environment, and above all else, it knows what it is and it knows what it's doing. Oh boy, I'm really pushing it on time today. So I'm just going to leave you guys with my thoughts for the next season. And I think that the best sum it up, I need to make a Star Trek reference and say, Stranger Things 4, The Search for Hopper. So I know that a lot of people on the internet are saying that Hopper has to be that American that the Russians had in their prison, but I kind of feel that what happened was when the machine blew up, Hopper got tossed into the Upside Down. So since we know what happens to you if you're in the Upside Down, R.I.P. Barb, we know that this has to be a race. Elle needs to get her powers back, and they need to be able to find Hopper. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you have any thoughts on Stranger Things, please share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to talk with you. If you know anyone that you think would like this video, please share it with them and get them in on the discussion as well. So guys, what do you want to hear from me next? Do you want to hear something more about video games? Do you want to hear more about TV shows? Let me know. Also, what do you think about my intro? Hi, I'm Greg, I'm interested in, does that work, or do you think I should try to take it in another direction? And lastly, what did you think about this video? How did you feel about me breaking things up? I kind of like doing the shorter segments and splicing them together because it gives me more of an opportunity to check out what I have for my script instead of just going off of a loose outline. And I think that it allows me to say everything that I actually wanted to say. So guys, I'll see you in a few days.